You spent money on Amazon this year, on Netflix, on Apple, on Google. Every single one of those purchases helped their stock price go up. Their shareholders made money from your spending. And you got a box on your doorstep and a streaming password. You are already in the investment game. You've been in it since your very first purchase. You're just playing for the wrong team. And today, in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how to switch sides, step by step, even if you've never bought a single stock in your life and the word portfolio makes you want to close the tab. Hey everybody, it's Billy. And here's the thing that nobody in the financial industry wants you to know. The best investing strategy for beginners is also the one that makes them the least money. A simple index fund that you buy once and hold forever generates almost zero fees for the people selling financial products. That's why they'll never recommend it. That's why investing sounds complicated. That's why there are 1,000 products when you really only need one or two. The complexity is the business model. Your confusion is their revenue. Today, I'm going to cut through all of it. No jargon, no complex charts, no, well, it depends on your risk-adjusted alpha. None of that. I'm going to explain investing the way I wish someone had explained it to me, like I was 5 years old sitting on a couch asking, but why does money grow? We're covering why investing works in the first place, the different types of investments you can make, the exact steps to open your first account and buy your first fund, the psychology that makes most people fail, and the common mistakes that cost beginners the most money. And there's a moment near the end where I'm going to show you what happens to your money if you don't invest. And it's not what most people expect. Your savings account isn't keeping your money safe. It's quietly making it worth less every single day. Stay for that part. Let's get into it. The biggest risk is doing nothing. Here's the lie that keeps most people from investing. They think not investing is the safe choice. They think leaving their money in a savings account is the responsible thing to do. And for short-term money, your emergency fund, rent, stuff you need in the next year. They're right. A savings account is exactly where that belongs. But for money you won't need for 10, 20, 30 years, a savings account isn't safe. It's a slow-motion robbery. And the thief has a name: inflation. Inflation is just prices going up over time. Your coffee costs more than it did 5 years ago. Your rent costs more. Your groceries cost more. Everything costs more. And if your money is sitting in a bank account earning 1 or 2% interest while prices are rising 3, 4, 5% per year, your money is shrinking, not the number in your account. The number looks the same, but what it can actually buy is getting smaller every single year. $10,000 in a savings account today will buy you roughly $8,000 worth of stuff in a decade. You didn't spend anything. You didn't lose anything. The number in your account might even be slightly higher because of the tiny interest. But the purchasing power, what that money can actually do for you, dropped by 20%. That's not safety. That's a leak you can't see. Now, here's what happens if you invest that same $10,000 in a broad stock market index fund and leave it alone for 30 years at the historical average return of about 10% per year. It grows to over $170,000. Same 10,000. Same person. The only difference is where you put it. The real risk isn't investing. The real risk is sitting on the sidelines while inflation eats your future. So let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. Lesson 1. Why investing actually works. The 5-year-old explanation. All right, let's start at the very beginning. Why does investing even work? What's actually happening when your money grows? Imagine your friend opens a lemonade stand. She needs $50 to buy lemons, sugar, cups, and a sign. She asks you to chip in $25, half the cost. In exchange, you own half the business. When the stand makes money, you get half the profit. When the stand becomes more popular and more valuable, your half becomes worth more too. That's investing. That's the whole thing. When you buy a stock, you're buying a tiny piece of a real company. When that company makes money, your piece becomes worth more. When you buy a share of Apple, you own a microscopic slice of every iPhone sold, every subscription started, every service launched. You're not gambling on a number going up. You're participating in the success of a real business. Now, here's where it gets powerful. You don't just own your piece. Your piece grows, and then the growth grows. That's compound interest, and it's the single most important concept in all of investing. Say you invest $1,000 and it earns 10% in the first year. Now you have 1,100. In year 2, you don't earn 10% on the original 1,000. You earn 10% on 1,100. So now you have 1,210. The difference seems tiny at first, but let it run for decades, and the effect is staggering. That original 1,000 becomes over 17,000 in 30 years, not because you did anything, because you left it alone and let the growth stack on top of itself. The longer you leave it, the crazier it gets. The first 10 years feel slow. The next 10 start to accelerate. The last 10 feel like a rocket. That's compound interest. And it's why starting early matters more than almost anything else. A 25-year-old who invests and a 35-year-old who invests the exact same amount will end up in completely different places at retirement. Same money, same strategy. The only difference is 10 years of compound growth, and that gap is worth over $1 million. Lesson 2. What you can actually invest in. Kept simple. Now let's talk about what you can put your money into. There are a lot of options, but as a beginner, you only need to understand 4. Stocks. When you buy a stock, you own a tiny piece of a company. Stocks have historically given the highest returns over long periods, about 10% per year on average. But they also bounce around a lot in the short term. Your balance will go up and down, sometimes dramatically. Over decades, though, the direction has always been up. Bonds. A bond is basically a loan you give to a company or a government. They pay you interest over time and then give you your money back at the end. Bonds are calmer than stocks. Less exciting returns, but less stomach-churning drops. They add stability to your mix, especially as you get closer to retirement. Real estate. You can buy property directly or you can invest in REITs. Companies that own and operate buildings, apartments, offices, and shopping centers. REITs let you benefit from real estate without actually being a landlord. Solid long-term investment, though it requires more research than the first 2. Index funds and ETFs. This is the one that changes everything for beginners. An index fund is a basket that holds hundreds or even thousands of stocks in a single purchase. When you buy one share of an S&P 500 index fund, your money gets spread across 500 of the largest companies in America. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, and 495 others. One purchase. Instant diversification. Almost zero fees. No stock picking required. Index funds are the reason ordinary people can build serious wealth without becoming finance experts. You're not betting on one company succeeding. You're betting on the entire economy growing. And over the last 100 years, that's been a very good bet. Here's what I'd recommend for most beginners. Forget individual stocks. Forget crypto. Forget the hot tip your coworker has. Start with 1 or 2 broad index funds and let them do the heavy lifting. You can get fancy later. Right now, simple is your superpower. Lesson 3. How to actually start. Step by step, right now. Okay, theory's over. Let's get practical. Here's exactly how to go from zero to invested, step by step. Step 1. Make sure your foundation is solid. Before you invest a single dollar, handle 2 things. Pay off any high-interest debt, especially credit cards. If you're carrying a balance at 18 or 20% interest, paying that off is a guaranteed 18 to 20% return. No investment in the world matches that. And second, build an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a high-yield savings account, not invested. Just sitting there, accessible, ready for when life gets expensive. Only after those 2 boxes are checked should you start investing. Step 2, open an account. You need a brokerage. That's just the company that holds your investments. Popular options include Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, or newer apps like Robinhood. They all offer commission-free trading now, so the cost difference is minimal. Pick one with a clean interface and good fund options. For account type, most beginners should start with a Roth IRA. Here's why. You contribute money that's already been taxed, but everything it earns from that point forward, all the growth, all the dividends, all the compound interest for the rest of your life, is tax-free when you withdraw in retirement. You'll never pay another dollar of tax on that money. The annual contribution limit is $7,000 for 2026. If you can max it out, great. If you can only do $50 a month, that's great too. Start where you are. If you want to invest more than the Roth limit, or you want access to your money before retirement, open a regular taxable account alongside it. No contribution limits, but you will pay taxes on gains when you sell. Step 3. Choose your investments. For most beginners, a simple 2 or 3 fund portfolio is all you need. A total U.S. stock market index fund gives you broad exposure to thousands of American companies. An international stock index fund adds companies from around the world, and a bond index fund adds stability. That's it. 3 funds. Thousands of companies across the globe. You're diversified across the entire global economy with 3 purchases. Step 4. And this is the one that makes the whole system work. Automate it. Set up a recurring transfer from your bank account into your brokerage. Pick an amount. Pick a schedule. Every payday, every month, whatever works. And have it automatically invested into your chosen funds. This is called dollar cost averaging, and it's one of the most powerful strategies in all of investing. When prices are high, your fixed amount buys fewer shares. When prices are low, it buys more. Over time, you average out your cost and remove the single most dangerous variable in investing, your emotions. Step 5, leave it alone. Don't check it every day. Don't panic when the market drops. Don't sell because the news sounds scary. The most successful investors in history are the ones who automated their contributions, chose good funds, and then did absolutely nothing for decades. Be boring. Be consistent. Let compound interest do the work. Lesson 4. The psychology that ruins most investors. This section is more important than everything else combined, because the biggest threat to your investment returns isn't the market. It isn't fees. It isn't picking the wrong fund. It's you. It's your emotions. And the financial industry knows it. The stock market goes down about 1 out of every 4 years on average. When it does, your account balance drops, sometimes by a lot. In 2008, the market lost over 50% of its value. People panicked. They sold everything. They locked in massive losses. And the people who stayed in, who did nothing, who kept their automatic contributions running, saw the market not only recover but reach new all-time highs within a few years. The people who panicked lost real money. The people who were boring made a fortune. This is the part the financial industry actually profits from. Every time you panic sell, someone else is buying your shares at a discount. Every time you chase a hot stock because it's all over social media, you're buying at the peak while early investors sell to you. Every time you check your account daily and make an emotional decision based on a single bad week, you're doing exactly what generates fees and commissions for the people running the system. The investing advice that professionals hope you never follow is this: buy a simple index fund, automate your contributions, and then stop paying attention. That's strategy. The boring one, the one that requires no skill, no research, and no financial advisor, has beaten 92% of professional fund managers over the past 15 years. People with teams of analysts, sophisticated models, and decades of experience, beaten by the strategy that does literally nothing. The industry makes money when you're confused, when you trade frequently, when you pay management fees, when you switch strategies every time the market hiccups. The simplest approach is the one that costs them the most revenue. And that tells you everything you need to know about which strategy actually works. Lesson 5. The mistakes that cost beginners the most. Quick rundown of the traps to avoid, because knowing these up front will save you years of pain. Trying to pick individual stocks. Unless you have deep expertise in a specific industry, you're gambling. Even professionals can't do it consistently. Buy the whole market instead. Trying to time the market. Waiting for the right moment to invest means missing the moments that matter most. Missing just the 10 best days in the market over a 30-year period cuts your returns by more than half. Nobody can predict which days those will be. The solution is simple. Invest consistently and stay in. Checking your account too often. Daily checking leads to emotional decisions. Emotional decisions lead to buying high and selling low. Check quarterly at most. Annually is even better. Chasing hot trends. By the time an investment is trending on social media, the smart money has already bought and is waiting to sell to you. Stick to your boring index funds and ignore the noise. Not taking your employer match. If your company offers a 401k match, that's free money. Contribute at least enough to get the full match before investing anywhere else. An employer match is an instant 100% return. Nothing else in investing comes close. Waiting to start. Every day you delay is a day of compound growth you'll never get back. $50 a month invested at 25 beats $500 a month invested at 45. Time is the most valuable asset in investing, and it's the one you can't buy back. The two paths. Let me paint two pictures. Same person, same salary, same city, same age. The only difference is one of them watched a video like this and started investing. The other one said, I'll do it later. Path 1. You start investing $100 a month at 25. Nothing crazy. You automate it into an S&P 500 index fund, and then you get on with your life. You don't check it. You don't touch it. You just let the automatic transfers run. By 65, assuming the historical average return, that account holds over $630,000. You put in $48,000 over 40 years. The market gave you the rest. Path 2. You wait until 35. You invest the same 100 a month. Same fund. Same consistency. By 65, you have about $220,000. Still good. But that 10-year delay cost you over $400,000. You didn't earn less. You didn't invest less per month. You just started later. That's it. That's the entire difference. Now remember what I said at the beginning. You've been in the investment game your whole life. You just invested in everyone else's profits instead of your own. Every coffee, every phone bill, every subscription, every online order. You funded those companies. And their shareholders got paid. Today is the day you switch teams. Today is the day your money starts working for you instead of for them. Open the account tonight. Set up the automatic transfer. Buy the index fund. And then walk away and let time do what time does. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be rich. You just need to start. Here's the whole system in 60 seconds. Pay off high-interest debt and build an emergency fund first. Open a Roth IRA at a major brokerage. Buy 2 or 3 broad index funds. Total U.S. market, international, and bonds. Set up automatic monthly investments so you never have to think about it. Don't check your account. Don't panic when markets dip. Don't chase trends. Don't try to time anything. Stay boring. Stay consistent. Give it decades. Your savings account is losing you money every day it holds your long-term wealth. The financial industry profits from your confusion. And the simplest strategy in investing is also the most effective one in history. Now you know. And knowing puts you ahead of 90% of people who will never watch a video like this. So use it. I'm Billy, and I probably spend too much time thinking about why the most effective investing strategy ever measured is also the one the financial industry has the least incentive to tell you about. And what it costs a person when they spend their 20s funding everyone else's stock price except their own. If that reframe just landed somewhere uncomfortable, subscribe. Because that's exactly what we dig into here.